What we'll do now is add an extra pose to fix the flow between our first and second actions we already have set, and then make any adjustments we need to on that second pose based off of our change. So the next pose will add on frame 10. Okay, so let's bring back our control curves. And the reason why we're going on a 10 to 10 frame basis for our frames and where we set our poses is just so we can get a good idea of what we need to do to adjust our poses to make sure that they're giving us the right timing. So this by no means is going to be our final timing. It's just a way to help us achieve our final timing. Okay. So to start off, we do pretty much want this value of the right foot on frame 20 on frame 10. That's where we're at our next pose. And one way to do this pretty quickly is to use the middle mouse button, where we can just drag with the middle mouse button, and notice what that does. We're able to actually scrub our timeline without seeing the playback of our animation. So we could use this for copy and pasting keys, making sure our feet are planted where they need to be, and also it's great for adding moving holds on certain things, on certain movements of our character. Okay, it speeds up that process as well. So since we do want to take this value of the right foot, okay, and put it on frame 10, let's go ahead and left mouse button click on frame 20, and then we'll middle mouse button click on frame 10 and just press Shift W. So now we have the foot lock there, and then we'll also key the heel pivot, make sure that's staying there like we wanted to. Then we could even select the right knee and press Shift W2 to make sure that the right knee is positioned where we want it to be. Great, so when we scrub back and forth, notice from frames 10 to 20, now that foot is planted like we want it to be. But I think we can move it over just a little bit more. Okay, so what we can do on frame 10 is just select the right foot, and let's actually move the foot not only over but back a little bit more. Okay, just to fix that pose there. Let's see. Okay, and we'll go into more of a back view to make sure that it's positioned the way we want it to be. Okay, so we'll have that right foot shift over and back. Okay, and we want to have the same values for our right foot now on frame 10 to frame 20, so we could just middle mouse button click on frame 20 and press Shift W. Great. And let's see what else. Let's even bring in the heel a little bit on frame 20. Okay, just a little bit more in, and then we'll just middle mouse button click on frame 10 and key our heel pivot. Great, so now the foot is planted like we want it to be. Great. Okay, excellent. So now what we can do is have our character prepared to shift his weight. That's what he's going to be doing, okay, as he's moving forward. So we'll go to the hips and let's zero them out in the Z. Okay, and then later on we'll go back and fix the hips up when we're near finalizing our push. So, and then we'll translate him now to his right to shift his weight in preparation to this left foot step. And also, just FYI, make sure we have our character set on so we can see where all of the keys of all of our controls are going, making sure they're on that 10 frame basis. Okay, and then later on we'll turn off the character set and focus on our individual control curves and their individual keys. Alright, so now we have the character moved over some, and then we can even translate him up a bit. Okay, so since that left foot's coming up, and make sure that the right foot is a little bit straight as it is now. Okay, then we could go to the left foot and let's bring up the raised ball some, like so. But what we're also going to do is move over the foot with the side to side channel. Let's go ahead and do that. Select the side to side and just bring over the foot so that it's face a little bit more into the center of the body. And the reason why that is if we left it how it was set to 0, the foot will be rolling off in an awkward type of position, an uncomfortable position. So that actually wouldn't happen. The foot's going to roll off comfortably. The character's going to move comfortably, unless in a situation where he can't. Okay, so we fix that up, and then we could bring this left knee forward too, like that. Alright, great. So that's looking pretty good. For the character's back, let's go ahead and fix a few things here. We'll go to the back control, zero everything out, then go to the rotate X, and we'll bring that a little bit more forward. As well as for the chest, we'll do the same thing, zero everything out, go to the rotate X, bring it slightly forward. Alright, so now he's leaning in. We're going to make sure he's balanced, so we could go to the center of gravity, and let's bring him back a little bit and up some too. Okay, just to make sure he's balanced there. And let's see what else. For the head, let's go there, and what we'll do is just zero out the rotate Z, and we'll fix the rotate Y so he's facing a little bit more towards the crate. And then for the X, since he's moving up, we'll also have his head move up so he's looking at where he's moving to. And we'll go to the neck and move that up slightly as well. Great. So before we move on to the arms, we'll just scrub through to make sure everything's moving right. Okay, everything's looking pretty good. What we can do with this left foot though, on frame 20, is move it over a little bit more. It's going to be in a bit closer to the body. Okay, as the character's pushing. And then what we'll also do is go to side and zero that out, because once his foot's planted, it's not going to be rotated to the side, it's going to be planted. So we want to do that. And for the raised ball, let's also drop that too. Great. And then we'll go to the heel pivot on that and just rotate the foot in so that it's a little bit straighter. Great. Now we could go to the knee control and bring that over some too. Let's do that. Alright, so this pose is looking better. Alright, when we scrub through, here's what we get. Great. So we can now go ahead and move on to the arms on frame 10. We'll select our right arm. We could start with that and just bring that forward some. Okay, like so. And then bring this arm forward, or the shoulder forward just slightly. The arm's not too far forward. Maybe we could bring it down a little bit and forward some here too. Then we could go to the wrist and adjust a few things like the rotate X. We'll fix that. Remember, the wrist should pretty much flow with the lower arm here. Then we'll go to the Y and bring that up just slightly like that. Okay, not too much. And what we're actually going to get is this nice follow through as the character is moving in with the wrist down like that, and then as it comes up to get ready for the push. Great, so we're going to get this nice flow. With that done, let's see, let's go to our left arm now. Bring the shoulder forward slightly. Remember, because the arm is not moving too far forward. Then we'll actually move the arm forward. Okay, we could check it out in the top view. Alright, that's fine. It's looking pretty good. Then we could go to the wrist, and here, let's change the rotate Z. We'll adjust it so that the wrist is pointing down and the rotate Y constraint ring is more vertical. Okay, and then we could even bring up, or bring down actually the rotate Y a little bit there, and then open up the fist so he's prepared to have his hands make contact with the crate. And then we'll even go to the spread channel and spread in, or close the spread of the fingers a bit, just so he has a more natural pose in his fingers. And then we're going to bring the control over a little bit more to his left. And then the elbows, they're going to come down a bit here. And then for this one, let's have it move up slightly. Fix that. Alright, great. So when we scrub through, here's what we have. Okay, and we do have these poses now on frame 11. So here's a great reason why we need our character set on, so we can see where all our keys are going. Because right now we have the keys for our right elbow and also for our left arm on frame 11, and we want them on frame 10. So what can we do to fix this? Is it going to be a hard problem to fix? Well, not at all. All we need to do is select the controls that we've just moved on frame 11 to get these keys, and then we'll shift select this key on frame 10. So shift and left mouse button, select that key on frame 11, and then just hold the left mouse button and drag it to frame 10. So now we have our keys where we need them to be, right on frame 10. Alright, and we'll actually be using that shift select a little bit later on as we start moving keys around on our timeline. It's going to be really helpful for that. But great, so now we have our next couple of poses in, and we'll just double check them to make sure everything is looking pretty good. before we can move on. And I'd say just a slight change. Let's go to the back. And here, let's just rotate the Z a little bit more to the character's left because he needs to stay balanced. And since he's shifting his weight over to his right in preparation for that left foot step, he's going to want to shift his weight or shift his body a little bit to his left to accommodate. Great. So with these things done now, that finishes off this lesson. We now have this in-between pose, and we've also made some slight adjustments to our poses. Okay, and we can now go ahead and move on to the next lesson where we'll continue posing out our character based off of our storyboards.